More action again, four-way flop. I love how we can just transition back and forth between these tables because we have multiple featured tables, which is unheard of.
Really is.
Yeah, so this is amazing. Schwen betting here with just king 10 high. Tom Dwan calls the bottom two pair. Richard Young with top pair. He's gonna come along. But the equities are so close.
Yeah. And you might always think, wow, Schwen is getting a little bit out of line, but he always makes up for it on future streets. He clearly has a plan every hand. He really knows how boards develop and hands as well.
So the turn is an 8. That's a full house for Tom Dwan. 10 Schwen here, drawing dead. Yes, remember there's a 2 calls. He's gonna reach for more chips. He just doesn't think that someone would have an 8. I don't blame him. But Tom Dwan actually has a full house here. 140,000. Tom Dwan, chip leader of the tournament. I like this call. I feel like if you raise, you let your opponents get away from his bluffs. You also let Richard Young in there drawing very slimly. Well, he's going to fold. Schwen here just needs to give up if he wants to preserve some chips. Quad 8s. We've seen a lot of quads today. I think this card should save Tan Schwen because he might not think his opponent will fold a jack. It'd be a very big bluff.
Yeah, this would be crazy.
Sometimes when you bet with so little equity, you just want to like keep firing chips in the middle. Tan Schwen here just representing a big hand, 450,000 chips. His opponent is sitting there with quads, the nut hand. Wow, Tan Schwen just like trying to represent like pocket aces here, trying to blow off a jack or like quads himself, but this is Tom Dwan. Tom's gonna raise it up.
And this is so cool. He's not going for an all-in shove. He realizes how strong this would be. He tries to figure, okay, what if I would try to represent something with some crazy bluff here? With like queen 9 and diamonds or something, what would I do?
What about like when players limp before you? Is that like kind of scary, or do you not think about that as much when you decide whether to raise or not?
No, unless you're playing as a net, right? But like all these guys, like even myself, I limp a bunch of shit.
Yep.
First in as well. But it's just because like the odds are so good.
Look at this flop for Rui Cow. Flops quads, and he's betting.
He's betting. Why is he betting? It's a
Well,
limp pot. Oh, okay.
He thinks that, look, you're never going to put me on a hand to bet here. You're going to call king high, gets it to call. And now he checks. This is pretty tricky.
When Paul checks behind.
King high has good showdown value, I imagine.
Okay, I guess Paul's gonna fold here.
Yeah, Rui Cow is just going to say, please have a jack. Going for maximum value, slightly over the pot. Paul's probably thinking, did you really bet quad aces on the flop?
Yeah, Paul's thinking of bluffing now. He's thinking that when he calls the flop and then and he checks the turn, he's thinking like, okay, now I have the perfect line for quads. Okay, but his body language tells me he's folding.
Yeah. It's like he wants to do it, but it's risky.
After that body language, he's not doing it anymore. It's bye-bye.
Correct. Good read. Just show him.
I would suppose Ray, when he bets the flop on ace, 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 he could have lots of bluffs, but the problem is that
raise here? Come on.
when someone floats you or whatever, you don't even know whether they hit their boat because you're OOP. Right? I mean,
Yeah, Bonglokai in there with the 8-6 off. Speculative. But tries to win his chips back that he just lost. And after them we see some nice hands. Jack 10 suited. Pocket 9s for Mikita and the cutoff. Way more attractive than...
Ace, ace, king here. Lee with trips. And he will close the action with the check and make quads on the turn.
Yeah, decides to check his weakest ace back. It makes sense sometimes. Disguising the strength of his hand a little bit. And with quad aces, he's gonna feel like, what are they gonna call me with? But of course, you have to bet. You need to get some money into the pot. Bets third pot, hopes that somebody has a king, basically.
And poor Badziakuski with the 2 9s might be in a spot where he feels like he could pick this one off.
Yeah, he tries to count the combinations. How often has Lee just a flush draw? Maybe a hand like Jack 10 or Queen 10 a gutter, but even against those, pocket 9s aren't looking great. Does come with a call though, feeling like only aces was bad here and another king on the river, putting a full house on the board. So only quads beat the full house on the board now. Interesting situation. Mikita hasn't checked yet.
Can't blame him for calling with the 2 9s, and this king obviously counterfeits the 2 9s, but the only hand that he falls to at this point is quad aces or potentially quad kings.
Yeah. And quad kings seem unlikely.
Yeah.
Checking back the flop, then betting the turn, so it's pretty much
an ace or no ace.
An ace or bluff, but Mikita actually leads right into him.
Yeah, for full pot. What a dream for Lee.
Yeah, Mikita knows that he's just playing the board and decides that Lee is bluffing enough on the turn that it makes sense for Mikita to try to steal the pot in case Lee doesn't have an ace. And Lee, of course, raising it up here with the nuts. And I'm sure Mikita will try to analyze the situation and then come to the conclusion that this is gonna be a bit dicey to call here and hope for a chop. He hasn't folded yet though.
Bit of a leveling war.
It's not. Can you pause?
Yeah, and I'm sure he has played with Lee Kiat before. Maybe he knows that it's a capable man to make a bluff here. It's interesting though. I mean, of course, we are seeing the whole card, so we are thinking, I mean, of course, the guy has the ace, he's representing the ace, he has the quads. So it looks like an easy fold, and Mikita, of course, very strong player. Took a little bit of time, doesn't want to make the incorrect fold.
I was gonna say, it seems like Kenneth Key is really upset about a chop.
We're better off reading the faces than we are the cards.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
show them the flop.
Live poker.
I'm gonna learn Spanish. So
A lot of limping going on here.
I'm gonna learn Spanish so we can have
a conversation.
We can have our own conversation.
No, he's just.
I was too busy trying to figure out why there was more than 100% equity out there. 997 trips for Tan Xuan.
He's consoling me that saying that many chops, not a bad beat.
I thought it was a chop for a second. I'm in no limit brain. I was like, nah.
I will do the rest of the evening and the rest of the week on this in this short deck game. Yeah, no, Kenneth Key's going to bet his sixes. Tan Xuan calls. And Tan got the best of Kenneth last time. Probably going to get the best of him this time again. Wow, look at this. Quad nines on the turn.
That's easy to see. We got this.
Yeah, I got this one.
That's the winner.
Yeah, bet of 14,000 by Tan Xuan.
Ace. Pocket tens.
He's going to make the call.
He does make the call. Wow, and there's still one card to come.
Yeah, this is where it becomes a little bit more difficult. I mean, I guess Kenneth assumes that Tan will not bluff the river unless he actually has it. Maybe he just assumes that Tan will shut down. There's a bet. Those yellow chips are 5,000 each, I believe. 35,000 in there. He's got 7 of them. Pot is 97,000. Getting a little bit less than 3 to 1 on your call if you're Kenneth Key.
One of the longest decisions we've seen in short deck, especially this early in the tournament.
And he is now over 2 minutes. And he finally does find the fold button.
A crazy, crazy bluff catcher. That was not being bluffed into. Quad nines. And no blinds.
Right. No blinds. No stinking blinds.
It's an ante-only tournament.
I feel like, what's his name in Sideways? No effing Merlot.
I'm not going to drink Merlot.
If you haven't seen Sideways, do yourself a favor. Watch it. Watch the movie. It's a good movie.
Probably the first time Sideways has ever been plugged on a poker stream. Welcome, everyone.
I like my wine.
If you love wine and a good wedding caper.
You're a comedian. Sideways. Good movie, right?
1, 2, I've never seen it.
What?
6 ways to this flop. Unraised pot.
Ace, ace, king. Unraised pot. Nobody has a full house. Richard Young has trip aces, though. Kenneth Key has a king. Nobody else has anything. So 6 ways to the flop. Richard Young bets 6,000. Kenneth Key calls. This is one of those very rare times where somebody is drawing really, really slim.
And they're dead on the turn. Look at that.
Yeah.
It happened. All right, everybody, pack it up. It's good. We got it. We're good. We did it, everybody.
Have we seen a flush yet today?
No. No, you're looking good on the under.
And Richard Young's going to bet again. Kenneth Key deciding, do I want to call this and then a river? How many bluffs does my opponent have? Apparently enough for me to call. Kenneth Key doesn't like to fold. Remember, he was the gentleman who did not want to fold the 6s.
Yeah, like
on the 3-9 board.
Bottom full house.
Oh!
And he's up against quads again.
Yeah, I'm going to let Kenneth Key know that if he keeps walking into quads, he's going to get in trouble. This is going to be a much tougher fold.
He doesn't have the bottom full house this time. That's
Right.
the problem.
This is going to be a lot more problematic
He has
for him.
the second nuts. Yes?
He has the second nuts. There are no flushes possible. There are no straights possible. And he has aces full of kings. While there are similarities to PLO in this game, you don't need to play both your cards. You can play one, you can play none. In this case, obviously, Kenneth Key. And he folds.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
There must be history with him.
There's gotta be.
Because he
pained over bottom full house, and he insta-folds the second nuts.
Yeah, that's clearly a history-based tank and then fold.